Hi everyone, this is Lauren from my counselor here at Plexuss, and today's video is going to be high school freshman advice, and we're going to break down the top 5 high school tips and tricks for the 9th grade. I know that transitioning from middle school to high school can be overwhelming, stressful, and even scary. It's hard to know what to expect, and so hopefully with this video, this will help you know what to expect, know how to be prepared, and also make you feel more excited than nervous. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first tip is to get organized. And one thing that you can do to get organized is to use a planner. This can be a notebook. You can buy a planner at the store or online, or you can even use your phone. There are apps out there specifically made for you to plan and get organized, or you can just open the Notes app on your phone and use that. So whatever works best for you, it doesn't matter which one, not one is better than the other. So whatever fits your style and your needs is the one that you should go for. Another thing to get organized is to always have the necessary school supplies. So at the very beginning of the school year, your teacher will review with you what supplies you will need on a daily basis in their class. Some of that will be required, others will be recommended but not required, but it's always better to be prepared and to walk into the classroom knowing that you have all the necessary materials that you need. You definitely don't want to be that person who's always asking for a pencil or asking for a piece of paper. I think it's always better being the person who has paper to lend or who has a pencil that they can lend to someone else. So another way to get organized is to create systems. So these are methods and strategies so that you stay on track and you know how to prioritize what work is most important. So some things that you want to think about is how you organize your backpack and what you keep in your backpack to keep everything organized. You also want to think about the workspace that you have back at home. Where are you doing your homework and how is it set up so that you are being productive and you utilize your time wisely? And also these systems that you create are not just good in 9th grade. They're good for 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. And so these systems that you use for yourself will help you understand what you need to prioritize, what's due, what's most important. And so think about those things when you're creating those systems, so that you're setting yourself up for success. Another way to get organized is to get enough rest, and it's really important that you actually prioritize sleep. When you prioritize sleep, you're more likely to be engaged and attentive, and so you don't want to dismiss sleep as something that's not as important as hard work. Rest is just as important. So hopefully with the systems that you create and with the planner that you have and that you're actively using it, then you're actually making time to get enough rest every single night. The next tip is to get involved. So there are a couple ways to get involved, and you're just getting started because you're only in 9th grade, but it's never too early to get involved. So some ways to do that is you can join a sport, and that sport may be at your school, or it might even be off campus. You may be part of the volleyball team at school, or you might play club volleyball, and that's outside of school. Another way to get involved is to join clubs, and it could be any club that you have any remote interest in. But attend a couple of meetings and see which ones you like, and definitely keep going to the ones that pique your interest or aligned with your goals or your hobbies. So another way to get involved is to attend school events. and this can be academic or social events. For academic events, think about the events at your school that may help you get into college or just help you start thinking about college. This can be an alumni panel, it can be a guest speaker who's talking about their current career and their path to getting there, or you want to attend school events. These can be sports games, they can be dances, but this is a good way for you to balance both work and school. Just keep in mind that even though you're only in 9th grade, that it is important to get involved and just to get used to having multiple events and priorities at the same time. This will help you to manage your time, but just know that GPA and your grades are not the only important thing that colleges look at, but they also want to know who you are. And so getting to know who you are, that's easily done if they see what you are involved in. So the third tip is to be present. And you want to practice this and get into good habits so that you're able to do this very easily in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So here's a couple of mini tips so that you can stay present. One is to attend class and make sure you're on time. You may be tempted to skip class, or even if you don't feel well and you do have to skip class, then be sure that you're asking your teacher or you're asking the classmate what you missed. And if you are going to class, make sure you're on time. The minutes add up and you may be missing something really important every day at the beginning of the class if you show up late. Also, get into the habit of not having your phone and not using your phone in class. Your teacher may already have a policy in place where phones are supposed to be put away, or phones are collected, or phones may not even be allowed at your school. But if you do have the freedom and there aren't any rules in place, it's just better that you don't have your phone. Out of sight, out of mind with the phone. This will help you to concentrate, and it is different when you use your phone to listen to music while you work. But if you find yourself looking at your phone, text messaging, or checking your email, or going on social media, you'll notice that you're spending more time doing that rather than being productive. And not only are you distracting yourself, but you're actually distracting the people around you. Also, you can demonstrate being present by participating. So contribute to the class by asking questions and respond to your teachers and your peers. Voice your opinion, express if you don't know something. If your teacher asks a question and you do know the answer, right? Raise your hand and contribute, because I'm sure your classmates and your teachers are appreciative of your participation. And sometimes your participation doesn't have to be vocal, but your body language also shows that you're participating. So if you nod, if you're sitting up in your seat and you're not sleeping, then that shows that you're present and that you are willing to participate. So the fourth tip is that it is okay to ask for help. We're not expected to do high school alone, and you're not a better person or a better student just because you don't ask for help. So ask your peers, your teachers, and your counselor questions. If you need help in a class, then meet with your teacher after class, schedule a time to meet with them, or if you're too shy at first, then send them an email and you can ask your question and communicate with them there. Also, link with your peers, because the question that you have is probably the same question that they have. And so either you can rely on peers who can help you, or work together and meet with your teacher together so that you have a better understanding of what you're confused about. And ask your counselor questions. If you have any questions about college, then schedule a time to meet with them. Utilize on-campus, off-campus, and online resources. Besides your teachers and your counselors, there may be clubs or organizations offered on your campus to help you and make sure that you are supported. This can be things like tutoring or other organizations like EAOP. But if that's something that you're interested in, and if it's offered for free, then definitely take advantage. Online resources can be things like Plexuss. And so if you have questions about college, then you can definitely utilize the internet and also connect with other people, especially with other students, about the same things that you're going through. Build a relationship with your peers, your teachers, and your counselor. Make it so that you're not just meeting your counselor one time. You may have this counselor for the rest of your high school years, and so you want to start getting to know your counselor, and they want to know you, and you want to tell them what your goals are, and they can definitely help you reach those goals. Same with your teachers. They may be your teacher again later on in the future, and so you want to make sure that the relationship that you have with them is positive. And also your peers. Your peers are likely to have the same classes with you again, and it's nice to have a support system so that when you need help, you know exactly who you can turn to. And lastly, it is never too early to think about college. You may just be in your first year of high school, but in just 3 years, you will be applying to college, and you want to start thinking about what kind of college you'd like to attend in the future. So think about qualities in a college that are important to you. It may be really important that you stay close to home. Another quality that might be really important could be the weather. And so maybe you want to go to a college with all 4 seasons, or maybe you don't mind a place like Los Angeles where it's more mild and you won't have snow, but you prefer the sunny weather there. Another quality that you might want and is really important is the major offered at that college. So start thinking about what do you want, because you will have to decide on one. Also, create a high school plan with classes that are relevant to future goals. If you would like to be an engineer, it would be the best idea for you to take classes in math. And so talk to your counselors to create a plan about which math classes that you're going to take. If you're interested in art, then maybe make sure that the classes that you're going to take are within the visual and performing arts field. And lastly, something to think about and start looking at is to identify common college requirements. If you are set on attending a 4-year college, you'll notice that one of the common college requirements is for you to take the ACT and the SAT. So in the 9th grade, just knowing what the SAT is and what the ACT is can allow you to mentally prepare for what's to come in the rest of high school. So to sum it all up, couple takeaways is that your freshman year counts. This is the year where you are starting a new chapter in your life, and this is your time to build great habits that will continue in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. You also want to set yourself up for future success. And so creating those systems, getting organized, being present, and then also just thinking about college and what can happen in your future or what you want to happen in your future can start in 9th grade. And lastly, 9th grade can be rewarding and fun. So it's not just about hard work, but it's also about finding a balance between having fun and doing well in school. So if you haven't already, please download the Plexuss app, and this allows you to get instant notifications from the app and especially from my counselor. Please rate and review us whether you have an Android or an iPhone. We really do appreciate your feedback, whether that's positive or constructive. And lastly, if you have any questions regarding this video, then you are always free to chat with my counselor. And if you have any specific questions about yourself and your journey to higher education, then you are always welcome to ask those questions there. I hope you found this video helpful, and we will see you in the next video.